In this tutorial, we're going to discuss slot schedules. We'll define what a slot is, a slot schedule, and how media items are used in slot schedules for display on screens. So let's begin by logging in and navigate then to slot schedules. Now, the first thing that you'll observe is that you have your entire media library contents list on the left, and then a blank media sequence on the right. A slot schedule is really just a schedule of media items that you want to run and how long you want them to run for. And so you can choose the media items that you want in a particular schedule, and you can sequence them in order and give them durations for how long you want them to run. Slot schedule will loop back on itself, and so if you had 4 items in there, for example, it would run the first, second, third, and fourth, and then it would loop back and continue to do that. In order to understand a slot schedule, it's really important to understand what a slot is. And so for that, let's go to this screen as a helpful aid for just a moment. And what you'll see here, and there are various screen layouts. Let's talk about those briefly. First of all, we have the split screen layout, which is a browser panel on the left and media items or add panel on the right. The browser panel really is for the browsers. You can build a screen that has interactive web browser with filtered content, or you can have a browser that is running streaming media on this side that they can't interact with, but that is used to display the streaming media. And in the split screen side, then you would have 3 slots that are available for running different media items. Now, the slots, the reason there's 3 is because the screen is broken up into chunks of 720 by 300 pixels, and you'll see this is a 720 by wide by 300 pixel tall area. And if we come back to our media items for just a moment, if I pick, for example, something I know to be 720 by 300, we'll go to Disney World, for example, and I preview that. This is a 720 wide by 300 tall piece of media, and that would fit right here. And so in this, we call this a slot. This slot then can have, if I create a slot schedule for this, and let's just go, pick one, slot schedule 1. Whatever is in slot schedule 1 that we've created in this slot schedules, whatever media items are built up and scheduled there will run in this slot. Now, it's important to note that in this particular slot, especially, let's take the split screen, this slot is on top of this slot, which is on top of this slot. So if I want something that will take up 2 slots, I would put it here, or I could put it here. But if I put it here, it'll cover this slot down here in the bottom. If I put it here, it will cover this slot and this slot if it's only going to be, if it'll be 720 by 600, for example. So I can put a 720 by 600 here, or I can put it here, and I'll see it as 720 by 600 because this is on top of this and this is on top of this. If I want a 720 by 900, which would cover this entire half of the screen, I'm going to put it in slot A. And so I need to be mindful that when I'm building schedules that I want for 720 by 900, that those items will then, I can build up the schedule independently over here, regardless of what slot I'm going to put it in, but I need to make sure that things that are 720 by 900 go in slot A. Otherwise, if I put it in slot B, for example, parts of it will be off of the screen. Or slot C, I would only see the top 720 by 300, and then the rest of it would be out the screen. So anything that's going to be 720 by 900 needs to go in A. Anything that's going to be in 720 by 600 can go in A or B, and then 720 by 300 can go in A, B, or C. If in the case where I have the whole entire screen is taken up with slots, it's the same thing applies. A is on top, B is next in order, C, D, E, and so forth. And so what will happen is if I want something to take up the entire screen, I would put it in slot A. So if I have a media item that's 1440 by 900, I need to make sure that I build a schedule that I intend to put into slot A. All right, so let's go to slot schedules. So let's take some media items and we'll schedule them up. And let's just say we'll take Norman's Cuisine. Let me preview that real quick. Okay, so it's a 720 by 300. It's an ad for a restaurant. Okay, close that. So I'm going to take that item and I'm going to add it. So all I'm going to do is it's selected here. Oh, I did make a mistake. I need to select a slot schedule to add it to. I don't have one selected right now, so I need to select one or I need to create one. So let's create a new one. All right, so here it puts up a window and I'm going to go, I'll just call it tutorial schedule. Okay, create that new schedule. Now we see it's selected, tutorial schedule. Now come down here and select Norman's Cuisine, add it to my schedule, and it will pop up over here. Now, what we have here is, this is Norman's Cuisine.swf. That means it's a flash file. It's going to run for 30 seconds, and it's in the 720 by 300 format. Now, let me pick another one. I'll pick Marie France. And if I want to preview that, I can preview it, which I will do. Okay, I see this. It's for women's apparel. Close that. And let's say I want Marie France to run for 45 seconds. Select 45. When I add it, it will be running for 45 seconds. So this will run for 30. This will run for 45. If I wanted to change this one now to 45, because I thought, oh, I wanted them all at 45, I select it here, and then I can update the selected media runtime here, which will now affect that. And if I select all of them, let's say I really wanted them all to be 30 seconds, I can select them all, click here, and that will adjust the times. And let's put in 2 more media items. Let's put in Norman's Cuisine, and we'll put in one that I know is 720 by 900. We'll make sure of that. Let's do this, Toys for Tots. Let me preview that real quick. Okay, let me pick another one here. Applebee's here. Okay, so this item is 720 by 900. So I'm going to pick that item. I'm going to say I want it to run for 30 seconds. 720 by 900. Now that this is 720 by 900, it's going to be important that I put it in slot A. So let's look at that real quick. And in fact, what I'm going to do is we'll push that to the top of the schedule. I want that to run first. So if I want to change the order in which these things run, I'll select the item, start clicking the up arrow, and I can move it up in the sequence. So you see that. And in fact, I can move 2 items or as many items as I want up in the sequence. So I just moved 2 items up in the sequence. Now I'm moving back down. Okay, so now I've got Applebee's going to run for 30 seconds, 720 by 900, 720 by 300. Okay, so you see how that works. Actually, I added Norman's Cuisine here twice. I'm going to delete that one. And let me pick another one real quickly. Bay Hill. Okay, so that's it. Now I have this thing. I need to make sure the scheduled media sequence. I need to save that sequence. Okay, it says that it's saved. All right, and I can prove that to myself by selecting a different schedule. I'm sorry, a different schedule here, which changes, and I'll come back to tutorial sequence. Sorry, tutorial sequence. Right here, tutorial schedule, rather, and you can see that it's right here. Now, once I have slot schedules built, then I will apply them to master schedules, and we'll talk about master schedules in the next tutorial.